Oh, welcome back to my channel. It's nice seeing you here. Having another sit down discussion with me where I'm just discussing my feelings and I'm not having a particular script. Let's get into it. If you see me looking down, I have my small post-it notes. So, I've had this really big disregard or share my emotions on the internet because like the internet early days where it was like the Wild West, we're kind of living in the age of the internet where it's hell. But at the same time, I have to acknowledge that I'm a human being and I'm not an idol or I'm not someone that isn't real. I'm still human and this is a part of my journey of processing my emotions. And YouTube is a great outlet for that. We're going to talk about delays, and we're also going to talk about connection from your emotions. So, something that I've been contemplating recently is having this idea that I am not who I want to be in many different ways, from life accomplishments to just boiling down to the way that I look and present myself in the day to day life. I'm not sure if this is relatable for my age category. I feel very disconnected from a clear path forward. I feel as though a lot of people in my age bracket have this very common way of approaching life when they hit after high school, right? So once high school is there, you have your job set up, you have your college education that you go through in order to get said job. These things are like you have these dreams, you have these ambitions, and you have these goals that are clear cut. It's really easy to go on that path and not be led astray because if you are going down a specific path that has been traveled so many times, i.e., the college job route, there's not that much discrepancy of where else do I go? What is the next direction? Dry. It's like if you're going on a hike and it is a very clear path that has already been gone through so many times. There's people coming back from the trail, there's people showing you a map of the trail, there's even people leaving resources and information for you to not go through the common mistakes because it's been traveled on for so long. But when you aren't really on a clear, definitive path, it's almost destructive because you're wandering in the wilderness without a map, supplies, or even someone that has went through the same thing before. For so long I've done a lot and I would be the person that would just go out and execute things, and that was how I was when I was younger. I would just go out and do things. I wouldn't even think about it, and those things have become a part of my identity, but I feel like that's become a shell instead of it being something that affirms who I am as a person. Still haven't come to the conclusion of a pure identity or a pure version of myself of who I am. Even if I'm a creative person, which creative paths are a really definitive path of a creative career that can mean so many different things, it's an umbrella term. I think it's also the desire there because it's like, what at the end of the day do I desire in my creative path? And I don't know truly what it is to be me as a person. I don't know truly what it is to feel comfortable, like the way that I'm presenting myself, the things that I'm asking for and desire. I think part of that is built in with shame of a lot of times when you tell people that you want to aspire to a creative career, it's always you need to have a backup plan, you need to play the safe route, etc., etc. Although a well-meaning advice, it is discouraging to say that, am I really doing the right thing? Is this path really for me? And then you'll face so many hurdles and challenges where it feels like not only are the people around you discouraging you, but also the world is. So sometimes it can make you lose your way, and that's kind of what I'm experiencing. I haven't existed on this earth for a while either, so it's like I don't know if it's just common. Know in the background what I want, but in order for me to understand truly what it is to make action on, something has to be screaming. Right now, desires are just speaking to me, and it's not a cry or a shout. And I almost envy people where it's like they have this huge passion where every day they're waking up, can't rest until I accomplish this thing. And they're talking about their experiences with failure. Even to fail at something, you would have to have the desire in the first place. The whole trying to figure this whole thing out. I had a conversation last week where it was kind of going to the pillar of self-sabotage and why when you get close to your creative ambitions do you self-sabotage. And it kind of came back to the why and understanding what your why is when you're not going to want to have the energy to practice or accomplish anything if you don't know your why. Figure out, what is my why through all this? Like, why am I doing anything? And when I was younger, again, to draw a comparison, it would just be experimentation, it would just be accomplishing, it would be trial and error. And I would feel so connected to those things to where I felt so passionate about it. But for some reason, I've turned this age and I don't really know the why anymore. Why are these things not urgent to me anymore? My passions are still there, they haven't been erased, but there is no driving force behind it of, oh, some people, they'll go to med school so that they can help their dying parents, or they saw someone in their life get taken by a said disease. I'm here existing, and the only why that I have is for myself. But you need to work harder, or you need to keep going after these things, which is true. But again, almost every advice or self-help topic that I hear about this kind of subject of, what is it that you want to do? If you want to be a creative, you have to figure out your why. That's like the number one advice. It's like, if you don't have that desire, if you don't have that huge reason why, then what is the purpose of even listening to that advice given to people when they envy or they're jealous of someone? It's like, yeah, you don't desire what it is or who they are. It's more like you desire what they have. And then I ask myself, it's like, what if I just desire their passion? Say that you want this future. How can you say that you want these things to happen to you if you don't really have the imagination to desire anything at all? I don't know if it's because I just am a master procrastinator or perfectionist, whatever, and I'm more aware of it as I grow older. Coming from a place of more, like, you have to do more in order for you to have this desire. And if you don't choose the real path or the most commonly available path, and you don't know where you're going and you're just wandering, then there's something wrong with you. There's no real hero's journey in this where there's a huge uptick in, like, your productivity, and you have a training montage of you just doing everything that you want to do, and the person that's made you emotionally charged is like in the background telling you exactly the fighting words to make you go after your goals even more, like all the doubts and the failures, and everybody didn't believe you. Like, it happens in fiction, but in reality, I don't think that that happens very often. I think that you have to have a very strong emotional tie. And for someone like me, where I'm not connected to that kind of stuff emotionally, where it's just kind of like, okay, it happened. I mean, all right, whatever. Emotions are connected into the why of the things that we do in this day to day life. And if you're just kind of drifting and floating, and you don't really have an experience or something to call back to, like, you have to be more in order for you to get more. But if you feel less, then you still have to be more. It just leads you into feeling even worse about your situation. And I don't think that that's very helpful advice. Like, I think that that's rerouting the problem into just digging yourself into a deeper hole. That the subject of feeling almost like there is a desire within you, but it's not strong enough to pull you to do anything, is something that's just not talked about enough. There's no real conclusion to what I'm saying right now. I don't really have a clear and cut dry answer. If you enjoy these app sessions, I mean, feel free, if this resonates with you, to comment and tell me your experiences with this, or if you've gotten on the other side of this. I'd love to hear about it. So yeah, bye.